Hi everyone, my name is Angela from Angela Stitches and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to show you how I made these 3 pieces of fabric with coffee and tea. I'll try to add better video or images of it because it's really bright right now, so I don't think the colors are showing the real colors on my screen here. It looks really washed out. So I'm going to color correct it or take better videos of it later, but yeah, I wanted to experiment with only coffee and tea and see what colors that would make. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really fun for me because I think I have a better understanding of how coffee and tea can change color of the fabric now. So I'll talk to you again at the end of this video. So I have my 3 pieces of fabric here, and this is 40 count Newcastle linen. It's the same linen as my Midsummer Nice Fairy fabric dyeing video, so if you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description box below. But I had these scraps, so I'm going to use this to do my coffee and tea experiment. So I'm going to do one with coffee, and then one with tea, and the last one with coffee and tea together, just to see like the color difference. So I thought that would be a fun little experiment to do today. So I'm going to do that. But for coffee, I'm just going to use the same coffee, and I said I was going to use all of this last time when I did my Midsummer Nice Fairy fabric dyeing, but I ended up not using all of it, so I still have some left in here. So I'm just going to use some of this for the coffee, and then for tea I'm just going to use English breakfast tea. It just says it in Korean, so I'm going to use that, and then later I'm just going to mix the two and then use that for the third one. So I'm just going to wait until this heats up and then put my coffee and tea and then put my fabric in. I'm not going to do any modeling this time, I don't think, but yeah, we'll see. So I'll come back when that heats up. So I think this is ready now. So this is tea, and then this is the coffee. So I'm just going to put my fabric in directly into here, so just like that. I'm just going to use my spoon here to push this in. And my other fabric into the coffee. I'm going to use a different spoon for that. And it's kind of bubbly right now, so I'm going to just lower the heat a little bit. So I think I'm going to leave this here for maybe 20 minutes and then I'll come back. So it's been 20 minutes and I'm going to take these out now, but I'm not going to wash them, but I'm going to put them directly onto the pan here and put it in the oven and dry it out a little bit. So I'm going to do that and I'll come back. So this one is tea, and I'm just going to, I said I wasn't going to do any modeling on them, but I think I want to. So I'm just going to scrunch it up a little bit like this and put it in the oven. So this one is coffee, so I'm going to do the same with this one, but I'm going to now mix these two and put this fabric in and get the tea and coffee started. So this is gonna go in the oven, and last time I had it really low, so I'm going to just bring it up a little bit, somewhere between here, and then 20 minutes. And then with this, I'm just going to mix these two. And earlier I forgot to wet this, so just to keep everything exactly the same, I'm not going to wet this either. I totally forgot that step, but I don't think it really matters. So I'm just going to continue without wetting the fabric. So I'm just going to put this back up here and put my fabric in. So I actually put in the coffee and tea fabric in here in the oven with the other two. So this was already in here so these were in for 40 minutes and this was in here for 20 minutes. But I think I'm just going to take everything out and put it under cold water and wash it and see what these look like. So this is tea and coffee, and this is just the tea, and this is the coffee. And this looks a little burnt, but I think it'll be okay. So this is what it looks like right now. These are still wet because I just washed it under cold water, but I'm going to take this home and iron them and see what these really look like. But this is coffee, tea, and coffee and tea. So yeah, I can see a color difference, so I really like that. So this is the final 3 pieces of fabric, and I'm really happy with how these turned out. And it was super simple and easy to make, and I think these will be really good if you like to do a lot of primitive stitching. I think these will be really good for that. But also for other projects too, like mirabilias, because I made some fabric for my mirabilia projects by using coffee and tea. So this one was just with the coffee, and when I took it out from the oven, it was actually the darkest. But washing it under cold water after I took it out from the oven, it became lighter in color and also kind of yellowish. I thought it would be more brown, but yeah, I think it'll depend on the coffee that you use though. So I think that could be another experiment or my next experiment, I don't know yet, but using different type of coffees. Maybe it'll be exactly the same, but still even that result would be something good to know. And this middle one was the tea and coffee together. And I really like this one too. To be honest, I think I like this one more than the one with just the coffee because it's a little bit more reddish. And this is what I did for my Rose of Sharon fabric. I'll put a picture here or a video of it. But I think for that, I think I made the coffee and tea bath a little stronger, so it turned out a little darker than this, but I really like that fabric too. And I think my favorite out of the 3 though is the tea fabric. I don't know, this is really appealing to me. To be honest, it's a very subtle difference in comparison with the other 2, but I don't know, I think I like the redness of it. It looks really rich in color, if that makes sense, even more than this coffee and tea fabric. But yeah, I think this was a really good study experiment for me because I kind of already knew that adding coffee and tea dilutes the color of the fabric when you're using other fabric dyes, but now I can mix colors to get the right tone. So if I want to turn my blue fabric more green, I would use more of the coffee and tone it down a little bit at the same time. But if I want my blue fabric to be a little bit closer to a toned down version of a turquoise, I think the tea would do the trick. And that was my thought process when I did my Midsummer Night's Fairy fabric. And same with my Garden Prelude fabric, but in the opposite way. I started with tea and coffee with that, but I wanted a little bit of a green tint to the fabric, but not like an actual green fabric. So in the coffee and tea bath, I added a couple of drops of the blue dye, and I think it'll result a different color if I started with only coffee or with just the tea. So yeah, I hope you try this out too because as you saw, it was super easy and really fun to make. And I think in general, making your own fabric is really fun. So, yeah, and someone also commented or messaged me a while ago about how I made my April's Blue diamond fabric with the swirls. So I'll try to make a video of that as well because that was one of my favorite fabric to make as well. So, yeah, if you have any other questions and comments, please let me know below and I'll also have my other fabric dyeing video in the description box as well if you want to check that out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!